Howdy and welcome. I'm Mike from Board Games for One, and I am here with the Board Game Nexus. Today we're going to be looking at 5 solo board games to get you started in 2022. This list is going to be great if you're new to board gaming period, or if you're new to solo gaming. The 5 games that I've chosen because they are readily available, they are highly replayable, and they're accessible, so they are easier to learn. Let's go straight into them. First one is under $20. This is a lesser known game, Lux Eterna, but I chose this not only because it's under $20 and it is a solo only game. Of what we're going to look at today, this is the only game that is solitaire only, but also because it is a quick setup of less than about 3-4 minutes maybe. It's mainly just a deck of cards, though there are some cubes and some dice that you end up using, but also because it introduces a real-time mechanic, which is not always highly popular, but in a solo game, sometimes it's welcome, and this game can help you figure out, are you someone that likes real-time games? You can try it out. In this game, you are on a spaceship, or maybe it's a space station, and you are getting sucked toward a black hole. Here's where the timing comes in. You only have 10 minutes to get away from that black hole by repairing your systems on the space station, or just by getting completely through the deck of cards and surviving without your whole place just blowing up. So what you have is you have a console in front of you and hazards are coming at you left and right, and you have 10 minutes to keep going through cards and decide, how can you fix this, how can you fix that, what should you let break, where should you make sacrifices. You really got to think on your feet. For a full how to play and a playthrough, you can check out my channel where I've got that. If you're not into the timed mechanic, that's totally cool, I've got you. You may be interested in Friday, which is still widely available. Friday's also under $20. It's a Robinson Crusoe type of game where you are trying to survive while also building up a hand of cards so that you can defeat 2 pirates in an encounter at the end of the game. You can buy Lux Eterna at the publisher's website, it's Capstone Games, or your local game store. Same deal with Friday. Let's go to the next game. Next, I want to introduce a type of game that you may not have thought about for solo gamers, but many of us like, and that is a detective style game, right? We like solving crimes. So there are several different detective games out there, and I'm not going to pick my personal favorite. My personal favorite is Detective City of Angels. I wouldn't suggest that as an intro game. So let's take a look at Chronicles of Crime. Chronicles of Crime is about $40. You can probably get it under that. And it's a game that requires the use of an app. So it's useful in that it introduces that app board game combination that's used in other games, like Lord of the Rings, Journeys of Middle-earth, which is a fantastic solo game. But in Chronicles of Crime, let's look at it over here. You see, you can buy several different games. Actually, we'll just look at the base game, which I've played all of the missions, or I guess the, what would you call them, the cases in the base game myself. And it comes with, I forget if it's 6, 9, or 10. I would actually have to check on that, but it comes with a number of cases. And also you can see there are add-ons like Chronicles of Crime Noir or Welcome to Redview. Those are newer expansions. There were other ones here that are not mentioned on the site, like there's one that happens in the 19th century and one that happens, it's like cyberpunk way in the future. But what it is you just have a board in front of you with locations and people to interview, and you have to use your phone in order to scan QR codes to interview the different suspects, come to your conclusion, and at the end you go to a results screen and see how you scored based on the conclusions you drew. Did you actually catch the criminal? Did you solve the case or not? You get a score, which means, though most won't do this, you can always replay the same case in order to get a better score and find out more of the story if you would like. But for the most part, it's a one-time play for each case. If you get through all the cases in the base game, there's DLC content or downloadable content for other cases just within that boxed game, and then of course it would be the same for the expansions. If you're not into this whole app thing, and I will say a small downside with the QR code, sometimes I had a hard time getting the code to scan. So that was a bit of a downer. But if you are not into that, then there is, go ahead and look right over here, Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. And this one has, let's look at Jack the Ripper. This one has well over 10 cases in it, and you can see from the picture here that it's all paper in front of you. I have not personally been able to play this one yet. I'm looking forward to it, but it's talked highly, so check it out. It's about $45 from where I looked, so roughly the same cost as Chronicles of Crime. All right. Different kind of solo experience actually is an escape room game. There are all kinds of escape room games, so you will never run out. Each escape room is usually anywhere from $10 to $15, usually somewhere around $13 for a single escape experience. There are several different brands: Exit, Unlock. I'm going to recommend Unlock only because I think it's the easiest to introduce yourself to. Exit tends to be just slightly more challenging, but they're both very good. Unlock does require the use of an app. So again, if that's not what you're interested in, I would check out Exit for your games. And you can find these at any game store. You can find them on the publisher's site here, Space Cowboys. And let's take a look at this. So you can select your adventure. You can see there's all kinds of different stuff. Alice in Wonderland, looks like Tarzan there. But we'll go down and we can just look at Legendary Adventures. And you can see if you buy a box this size, this is going to be more like $30, $35 because it includes 3 adventures, each with a different difficulty level. So you can pick one of these and you can look through the rulebook, you can look through the image collection in order to see what some of these adventures are. But you lay out cards in front of you and it's just like an escape room. You're just using the cards, and occasionally you'll be asked to use something on the app on your phone as well. The games, if you're playing solo, I would not hold yourself to the 60-minute time limit because it's a lot harder with one person than with several people. But even alone, you get that intense experience of being alone, like Alien, you know, where you're the last person alive and you're just trying to survive this thing. You kind of get that, but making it within 60 minutes might take the fun out of it. So you might want to either remove the time requirement or double or triple it. And you can pause and come back to it later, but you would have to leave it set up. There's no save system that I'm aware of. Okay, that takes us through escape room games. Let's move to something like a real board game, right? Not that those aren't, but I know what you mean. You want a box. Let's go to a big box. All of these games are family friendly, which is why this one might surprise you. Alien. How on earth is Alien, Fate of the Nostromo by Ravensburger family friendly? Well, they managed to do it. It's almost more like a boogeyman, but you get the feel of being on the Nostromo with the original crew, 5 people trying to survive with the alien chasing you around the ship. This is a cooperative game. The good thing is you can play this with your family, but you can also play it solo and you don't have to learn any additional rules. You just play controlling one character. If you want, you can control 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you want. But you can control just one, so that's why I chose this. A very small learning curve to the game, and it introduces some cool things that you'll play in other games, like something called Pick Up and Deliver, where you pick up items, so you gather scrap in order to travel around the ship and make something so you can defend yourself against the alien, like, of course, a flamethrower or a motion detector device. But you also are racing against time. As the longer the game goes, the more intense it gets, the smarter the alien gets. Super cool. Check it out. If that theme is not for you, then I would check out Horrified, either American Monsters or the base original game, the Hollywood Monsters, as they are very similar. Same idea. You can play controlling just one character. You can play cooperatively with your family. Why did I put that box there when I need to get to the next one? Yeah, so there's Horrified as well, American Monsters. Okay, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, and quick note about Alien as well. If you want a more intense experience, you can just Google Alien Fate of the Nostromo Director's Cut. And that's a survival horror mode where your characters actually can die. Where when you play Alien, nobody dies. They just get scared and they run further away from the alien, making it harder to control your tasks. But if you want a serious version, there is a director's cut, out there that you can download if you just Google that. All right, last game is a bit bigger, and that's why I wanted to save it for last, but don't run away, okay? Don't run away. So this is Wingspan, readily available, same as Alien, Horrified, Wingspan. You can get it at Target, sometimes at Walmart. I think it's just Target. You can get it at Target, you can get it at a local game store, you can get it pretty much anywhere that there's board games, except for Walmart. Don't know why. But anyway, Wingspan, this runs closer to $60 if you get it full price. It's by Stonemaier Games, and this is a multiplayer game. This is not cooperative. However, this is an excellent beginning solo experience, not as your first game. Please try one of these others first. Either try Alien, Horrified, Lux Eterna, Friday. Try one of those first, and then try Wingspan to expand your horizon, because it introduces an AI opponent. So you have to learn the base rules, and then you have to learn the solo rules, because you do control an AI opponent, but don't let it scare you. Don't let this scare you. There's a tutorial that guides you through how to play. The AI opponent is not difficult to control at all once you've learned it. But I want to be honest, you will have to read the rules or watch a video for a solo play. The reason it's important to introduce that is that there are so many fantastic multiplayer games that come with a solo mode that has an AI opponent that you have to minimally control. So this teaches you how to do that and not feel overwhelmed. It's a game, look, it didn't sound interesting to me, where you are collecting birds, placing them onto a beautiful habitat board in order to fill the habitat, have eggs, and in the end just get the most points, where you're going up against the Audubon Society, who is of course just trying to outdo you in every way they can, which is absolutely unacceptable. But Wingspan, absolutely for solo players, check it out. That takes us through our list. Thank you so much. I hope to see you over at my channel as well. Love you all. See you next time.